was all the playing on at the end, but the frame was well and truly won. Remember, it's 8 this afternoon, possible 9 this evening. They're playing for the Stephen Hendry Trophy.
Mark Selby to break.
Mark Selby has won his last 10 ranking finals. If he wins this one, he equals Stephen Hendry's record of 11 in succession. Of course, O'Sullivan at the World Championship went past Hendry's all-time record for ranking titles with 37.
Was a slight concern whether Reddy's going to go on that shot. He left something of a tempter. It's one of those, the cue ball was angling away towards the bunch of reds. Playing it with left-hand side, I think, to try and avoid the reds. It's a good shot. It's hard to play without any pace. If he's gone enough, he's very unlucky. Because it was a good shot.
Oh.
Played it with
Selby.
Check side. Almost better to have gone into the bunch than that.
He knew, didn't he? He was walking away because he was right in line with the pocket.
Yes, and the long red for Selby with the black available to the opposite corner. This is an early in if it goes correctly. Did it well.
One.
Could move the two reds above the black, which is a hindrance if they stay there. Well, I didn't really expect him to miss that. He was up very quickly. Yeah, I think he knew that he wasn't right on the shot. Maybe divided concentration between pot and the cannon. He sort of didn't seem surprised that he'd missed it. Walked quickly back to his chair.
One. Seven. Eight.
Well, a couple of reds at the bottom of the bunch, as you can see, will be potable into the same pocket. He's going to knock this red into.
15. $60.
It wasn't very straight to play that shot. There was a bit of angle on there. Which means he couldn't get very easily top side the black. Now, can he get onto those two reds, or maybe he has to open them up? May not have any other option here. That's a nice split. He played it nicely. Didn't take any risks. He knew he'd be on that bottom red.
23. 24.
Yeah, nicely done. So, first real good chance for O'Sullivan to get going today. And there's never been anyone more dangerous in this position.
31.
3 centuries this week. I suppose you might expect more, but I won't go on about the tip again, but we know he's had various concerns. So to be in the final is a great achievement. It looked like he would lose yesterday. Li Hang basically had him in that match, but didn't beat him.
39.
Oh, he's not perfectly on this by any means. Not an easy shot to the middle. He's always been so good at recovering those shots, though. Little thin cut to the middle, difficult shots. He's got another big shot to play here. He's got to stop the cue ball from going away from the reds somehow. Might have to play a cannon. Nice cannon, that's very well played. He might not be on the red he wanted, but it's all right. Good shot.
48.
Sullivan's got the knack of making slightly tricky shots look easy, and there was an example.
$53. 54.
He's also got a knack of just killing frames off so quickly.
Very true, Dave. I think what it is, he puts the groundwork in early in the frame to get the balls
61.
into positions where he wants them, and then the question is just joining the dots. That's how he plays.
62.
Some players, the break gets more difficult as the hard shots arrive. He plays the difficult shots early. Anyway, he still needs to pot a couple more.
Yeah, the yellow puts him 59 ahead with 59 on. So one more red.
$64. $65.
Well, he sit back strongly. Selby, though,
71.
had the opening, didn't he? Potted the long red, missed the black.
72.
Will Selby come back and play on? Is it going to be one of those sort of days? Well, if he does it, he's got to do it for his own reasons. If he's doing it just to play the compliment or whatever you want to call it, that's a different story.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 72. And
The answer is no. So Ronnie O'Sullivan, a swift 72. He's on the scoreboard. Battle joined here. We're level at 1 each. It's 1-1 in the Scottish Open final between Mark Selby and Ronnie O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan hitting back with a break of 72 to win the second frame. It's interesting, these home nations events, you know, we talk about the capacity for shocks early on, and you do get quite a few, but look at the finals this season, the 3 finals. Judd Trump, Neil Robertson at the English Open, Judd Trump, Ronnie O'Sullivan at the Northern Ireland Open, and here we are at the Scottish Open. So O'Sullivan, Selby, the biggest hitters in the game in each final.
One.
level, we're going to see it more and more, aren't we, over the course of the season? Big finals against top players where the break-off shot is going to play a part, leaving that red sticking out. They're going to pot them more than they miss them. This is a brave shot. That's a terrific shot. Serves the cue ball to get beyond the blue. Struck it nicely.
5. Six. $15.
Little cannon here, I think, on the red, the other side of the black.
14. $21.
Still never lost in the Scottish Open. Of course, played in the event for the first time last year. He's looking to defend a ranking title, a fourth different ranking title. In fact, the World Championship, International, China Open. He's all won back-to-back before.
22. $27.
On his angle, on his next colour here.
$28.
Tiny bit straight, but you will need to get into the bunch, I think, to force it quite a lot to do it from there. Not perfect by any means.
35.
Rather surprising, that enough.
Selby 35.
Un-Selby-like.
4.
Well, that's the difference when when you don't go in off. It's a nasty little shot from the jaws.
Yeah, no fun playing from right in there. Caught these a bit thick. Gibber's not travelling as far as he hoped. Red's opened up more than he expected. half a chance for O'Sullivan. Well, it's a disappointing miss, actually. Might cost him the frame. He didn't get very close to it. He might have played it with the trace of left-hand side. Just pushed it onto the ball. Might be the reason he hit it thick. It's the one way you invariably will leave the shot on.
Golden chance for Selby to go back in front. Already ahead as he comes back to the table.
Eight. 9.
Yeah, he's got not a great deal of work to do here. I mean, everything's so out in the open.
14. 15.
It's not like boxing. You can't land a knockout blow early on in these opening sessions, but it's all about jostling for position, the mini sessions. If you can take a 3-1 lead and then get in front, coming back tonight. Both players still sort of sussing each other out as well this afternoon. But barring something dramatic, it's going to be 2-1 to Selby. He may feel he needs to pop them all, though, because we saw what happened in frame 1. O'Sullivan played on even with pink and black on.
Yeah, good point.
41. 38.
Smattering of fake applause just means the frame is won behind snookers.
Yeah, I've noticed now there's different grades, isn't there, of fake applause? As you say, there's a smattering, there's a sort of more vociferous one, and then there's one with whistles. That's the ultimate. If you get that, you know you're doing well.
46.
Crowds are due to return in a reduced capacity at the Masters in January at the Alexandra Palace. Obviously, we can't see into the future. We don't know what will happen between now and then, but let's hope they do. Because that tournament in particular, of course, has always been in London, always been associated with the crowds and making the atmosphere. Sullivan and Selby have had many a battle in that tournament.
53. 54.
Yes, in a roundabout way, this frame was won when Selby was in the jaws of the pocket and he hit the safety shot too thick. The half chance that Sullivan got, he never got particularly close to. Yeah, so I think he just pushed it onto the ball. Left this wonderful chance, which Selby has very happily taken. sure, even if he won today, whether it really is complete revenge for what happened in the Crucible. But it is a trophy, and it's the final, a ranking event. So I think should he win today, which of course he's not anywhere near doing yet, you know, he'd be quite relieved to beat this man. You know, such a intimidating player, I think, O'Sullivan these days, always has been. But the way he plays at the moment, the intimidation factor is definitely in there as one of the reasons he's still up the top of his game.
75.
I think each of them regard a win over the other as a good win, wherever it is, but certainly when it's in a final or whether it's at the Crucible, you know, a big occasion. Seems to me, though, Selby hasn't dwelt on that defeat too much. I mean, he won the first title back this season, the European Masters. Gone deep in quite a few other tournaments.
80.
So it's just enough on for the first century of the day.
$84. $89. $95.
This black for Mark Selby's 8th century of this Scottish Open. Nicely done. Clearance of 102. The chance was there, and he took it well. And for the second time, Mark Selby leads the final. One more frame to come before the interval. It's 2-1. Welcome back, 2-1 to Mark Selby. Strange thing that happened there. Ronnie O'Sullivan walked back in first, saw Selby wasn't there, sort of went away again, and now he's come back. So there's all this sort of mind game stuff going on away from the actual match, but in the match it's 2-1. Selby's made the first century, 102. One more frame to come before the interval.
The fourth frame. Mark Selby to beat.
There's the prize waiting at the end, plus of course £70,000 and ranking points. Been another very good week. Of course, the first day there was all sorts of chaos because a lot of the COVID results hadn't come back and matches were delayed. Some matches were held over, but the team here coped with that very well. It was a late night on the first day, but they caught up and no such problems since. And then, of course, overnight they've got to, again, change the arena around for the World Grand Prix, which starts here tomorrow. The good news is it doesn't start till the evening, so there's a little bit more time than there was last week.
Sullivan unwilling to open the bunch up, playing safety shot in that way. But he may have left that red on. Not that it's an easy shot this time. The cue ball played it plain ball, would surely go into the black or even the end of the bunch. Can he get underneath it enough to screw the cue ball around the back of all of those? That's pointing the cue downwards. Playing the cue ball back to the other end of the table here. So it doesn't matter so much when you miss them.
One.
Having said that, just one red sticking out. O'Sullivan's chance to get into the bunch here. Doesn't need a second invitation to play these shots. Just slid off them slightly.
8.
Not an easy shot now. hit the bottom red half ball and it just took the cue ball up the table. Not an easy shot to keep the break going, especially with the rest.
Nice.
It's the cue ball there. Whatever bite he was meant to get on the cue ball wasn't on it, and it went into the side of the bunch.
Right, Sullivan 9.
Average shot time so far. Selby certainly getting on with it. Of course, he's just made a century. Tend to find that in break building, obviously, you're going to play quicker than the long safety duels. But he's the quicker of the two at the moment.
Well, it might be the very thin edge of the right-hand red here. Very thin. So a chance. Not such an easy path around the table. The red below the black doesn't make it easy to play that shot, swinging the cue ball around here. Still managed it though. Good shot.
1.
Seven out of eight now for long potting, Mark Selby, in this match. But it's not just potting, as you say, it's getting the cue ball around the back of that red.
Five. 6. 13.
First time these two ever played was in China Open quarterfinals 2002. Mark Selby still a teenager, and he won 5-3.
14.
That was the tournament where he was he was seen by myself and others in the hotel reception at 1 in the morning, trying to get transport down to the venue to play a match at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He thought it was afternoon, didn't notice it was pitch black, so jet lagged as he looks to get into them.
Yes, is that available, that red to the left corner?
21.
His demeanour suggests it might not be. I think it's the right-hand red he was looking at. Clearly the top one never went. Just below it, I think he wondered, but again, I don't think it's on. Obviously it passes the other reds, but I don't think you could see enough of it just to pot it. So Sullivan might feel that things could have been worse from the shot that Selby got in from. It's not going to hurt him greatly, that little break.
Selby 21.
Finishes it off with a good safety shot, though. I don't know which side of the blue he's trying to go, but going into it like that, might have been trying to swing the cue all right round wide of it. Either way, it's a mistake, possibly a costly one.
One.
He's finished right in between about 3 shots here. Blue's not great. We get topspin to avoid hitting the brown on the way through. At least he's got the red near the pocket, which helps. Might be feeling, Mark Selby, that he's got Sullivan a little subdued, missing 1 or 2, so he's got to take advantage of it now. Get himself a lead going into the mid-session interval.
Seven.
Well, at first it looked like a good kiss on the pink ball, but it's not so easy to pot one. Nothing goes. That red doesn't pot, as you can see. The right at the table, none of those reds are available. Let's go the other side.
Thirteen. Fourteen.
Just feel he's never quite been in control of this break. Yeah, and he's eventually missed.
Mark Selby 14.
No, I think you're right, Dave. Good observation. He was just potting one ball at a time without any real fluency in between.
Just never seemed to have ideal position. It was a good chance when he came to the table.
One.
Well, that seemed to kick. It hasn't stopped the ball going in. Cue ball jumped up in the air. Never hit it all that hard either. Well, how does he finish there?
8.
A lot of things happened on that shot. The blue, then he glanced off the side of the bunch, developed those, Now if this bottom red goes in, he's missed a few into that pocket, you know.
Bernard Sullivan, 8.
She's got a bit nervy, hasn't it, now, this frame? A couple of mistakes creeping in.
Yeah, you just feel that Ronnie is trying to just play a bigger part in the match. He's not playing all that well so far. But also, by the same token, Selby is looking to consolidate. He made a good start, but I think he would feel if he went into the mid-session 2-all, he'd missed out a little bit.
Well, on the long potting, Selby 7 out of 8 this afternoon. Oh, I don't know if he's just put off there slightly. Well, it didn't make any difference to the pot.
Well, it's a very good pot.
One.
Where's he going to end up, though? Big shot, this. Played very confidently now. This is a chance to win the frame. The earlier chance never really quite happened.
3.
There'll be no excuse, I think, this time, should he not win the frame from here.
Four.
As I say, it's a match, but there are matches within the one match. It's a opening session, it's an opening mini session. Selby looking to win it, get himself 3-1 up. And then there is the prospect, of course, of pulling away into a substantial lead in the second half. There's also the prospect, of course, of O'Sullivan coming back at him. But first things first, get this frame won.
12.
Just a couple of safety errors from O'Sullivan have contributed. Trying to get the white on the back cushion on that last shot, didn't quite get it to the cushion. Selby knocked in the red.
$19. $20.
So this brown to put him 42 in front. He'll need another red, therefore, the one out in the middle.
Yeah, played that quite well. He's okay on the red. Doesn't matter what else happens as long as the red goes in. I think it's a fair reflection of play.
25.
3-1 Selby.
Yeah, of course, he made the century, 102 in frame 3.
27.
Leads by 45. With 35 on. 3 snookers required. Always the chance of the free ball with the last red. But he's sort of forcing O'Sullivan into potting it.
One. Eight. For Sullivan, 8.
Good effort. I think this is a little different. There's every reason to believe most players would play on here. Certainly Selby would have done if it was him. Of course, as you say, he was forced into potting the red. Whereas he'd like to have kept it on the table. O'Sullivan, the free ball and all of that. Of course, the free ball counts for a lot more with the red on the table than it would do on the colours.
Well, it's never not interesting when these two play, whatever the match, but certainly finals carry an extra spice.
Thinking about if O'Sullivan does lose his frame, 15 minutes to ponder over how the first part of it's gone, and he's just got to score better, I think. He hasn't really competed as well in that department. He hasn't had any brilliant chances. Safety's not been as good as Selby's. Selby's potted a couple more long balls, so everything's got to improve. Kind of in keeping with how his week has been. Been just playing in snatches, really.
Two.
Yeah, 3-1, I think, definitely is a fair reflection of what we've seen.
Mark Selby, 2.
Surely now, this fourth frame will be over.
Three. Seven.
Remember, it's first to 9 to win this Scottish Open. Mark Selby looking to defend the title and win ranking event number 19 of his career.
12. Mark Selby, 12.
Sullivan still not giving it up. Seems in 2020 not conceding when you've lost is in fashion.
I think we should be going off 15 minutes now, personally.
Six.
Well, thank goodness the pink went in, and thank goodness the cue ball didn't, because the frame is over. And Mark Selby, clearly the happier of the two as the players head to the interval. He's going to make his point by playing the black. It's all part of the little bit of spice that's in this match.
Mark Selby, 6.
Well, the frame is over. I mean, this is ridiculous. There's no more playing on now.
Well, you can't get snookers on the black. It's just a fact.
Frame's over. Nothing more to see.
And the frame.
Strange end, but it's Mark Selby, as I say, the happier of the two as they head off to the interval. 9 the target to be Scottish Open champion. Mark Selby leads Ronnie O'Sullivan by 3 frames to 1.